we look at the game today in the National Football League, it's not just about your ability to throw the football, it's about your ability to run the football. When I look at a guy like Lamar Jackson, I'm looking at a guy that's rushed for over 1,500 yards in 2016, rushed for 1,601 yards in 2017, not to mention passing for over 3,000 yards a couple of seasons. We know what a dual threat he is. Is he a great passer? No, he is not. The upper 50 percentile is where his completion percentage ranks. It's not where Tim Tebow's was, which was at 46% or whatever the case may be, even though that was the pros, not college. But nevertheless, I look at Lamar Jackson, and you know who I think about? I think about Cam Newton. Not in terms of right comparisons, because Cam Newton's about 3 inches taller, and he's about 40 pounds heavier. So we understand that. But in 7 seasons in the National Football League, Cam Newton has completed 60% or better of his passes twice. The other 5 years, he's completed less than 60% of his passes. I don't hear anybody saying that he can't play quarterback in the National Football League. Why? Because there are some passes that he can make, but more importantly, the threat that he is running the football makes him so formidable that you look at the 50 percentile and you say, well, clearly we can live with it. Now, you can't live in a 40 percentile and lower, but the bottom line is if you're upper 50s, above 55%, but you're a dual threat, there are systems and there are situations where you can produce as a quarterback in the National Football League, which Cam Newton has proven. Even the year they went 15-1, Max, and they went to the Super Bowl, Cam Newton had completed 59% of his passes that season. And so I'm looking at it from that perspective, and I'm asking this question. Can Lamar Jackson do that on the NFL level? Well, if Bill Polian wants to say that he could play wide receiver, that he's creative once the football in his hands, that he's a game changer and a playmaker with his feet, why can't he do that from the quarterback position, particularly when he's shown the ability to at least make some of those throws? That's my position, and that's why I disagree with Bill Polian.
And I think for many, this will be kind of a hot-button issue, because whenever you hear, African-American quarterback, here are all the excuses why he shouldn't be a quarterback. It's like, oh, we've been hearing that a lot over the decades, a lot, and we're hearing it less now, so let's not just reflexively go there. But Bill Polian, I don't think, is reflexively going there. He's talking about He brought up not only the lack of accuracy down the field, but also his slight frame. Look, he's 6'3". That ain't short. That's plenty tall enough to be a great quarterback. But he is slightly built. And so you understand there is an injury risk on top of everything else. The odds that he could be Cam Newton, I don't think are great. The question is, if you have, let's say he is an injury risk and he's not quite Cam Newton, but he is a quarterback who in a good year can really bring a lot of value to your team, and because of his slight build, it's not a very long career. Would you rather have that as his upside, or would you rather have an exceptional receiver as his upside? I think it's a little unrealistic to say Antonio Brown, by the way, who's in the conversation for the best who ever did it, but some version of a lead receiver who can make guys miss and make big plays. Which is more valuable to your team? And I think if you do that calculation, you take that premise and those assumptions, and you do that calculation, you'll get your answer. It may not be the same for everyone. Some would rather have a higher-end receiver for longer, and others would rather have a quarterback capable of making a difference, albeit for a shorter amount of time. And I think that goes to the way you evaluate that value.